Hey guys, it's me, Serena, back with another video. This is a video I really did not want to make about Maria Sharapova, aka Maria Dopavova, aka Maria Sharadopa, aka Maria Hendricks, Maria Future, aka Druggy, aka whatever you want to call her. Those are all names I've seen floating around on the internet. But I kind of felt like I had to make it. I read this really great article, which I'm going to link in the description box for you guys, that basically talks about how this is a case study in white privilege. And I was just like, man, this article is really good and I want to share it and I kind of want to talk about it with you guys. And like I said, I'm going to include it in the description box, so make sure you click. But basically the article is talking about how Maria Sharapova, so for anyone that doesn't know, Maria Sharapova, she's 28. She's the highest paid, might be the highest paid female athlete, but she's definitely the highest paid, let me look. She's definitely the highest paid female athlete in tennis, despite the fact that she has consistently got her fucking ass whooped by Serena. Like, she's gotten her ass whooped like 18 consecutive times by Serena. Trying to see. Yeah. The former world champion has been the highest paid female athlete in the world for 11 years in a row, Forbes reported last year. She earned $29.7 million last year, including $23 million from endorsements and appearances, according to Forbes. So the bulk of Maria Sharapova's money comes from her endorsements, and that makes her the highest paid athlete. Not necessarily because of her fucking talent, because Serena Williams gets in that ass consistently. Not because of her talent, but because she's 6'2", she's blonde, she's blue-eyed, white girl, Nordic, thin, you know, the ideal of what our Eurocentric society says is beautiful, and that makes her marketable. And that also, you know, she just has that, you know, like, I'm a Russian rich bitch, so use me to sell Porsche. Use me to sell Nike, use me to sell expensive ass watches and Evian water. And because I am a blonde, blue-eyed, you know, Nordic, Russian, rich bitch, and I could sell this rich bitch lifestyle. It really doesn't matter if I've lost 18 consecutive times to Serena and that Serena's the best athlete playing tennis and arguably one of the best athletes of all time. You know, I'm blonde and blue-eyed, so pay me more and I'll make you this money. So that right there is a case study. That right there, that's not even what the article was about. But that right there in and of itself is a case study in white privilege. How her white privilege and specifically her white female privilege and fitting into this idea of what beauty is, this Eurocentric idea, this Eurocentric standard of beauty, you know, has taken her farther than her talent in her sport when she's supposed to be a fucking athlete. Like, you play a sport, you play tennis, it should be about your talent in the sport, you know, but especially last year, we saw, you know, all kinds of think pieces floating around and, you know, all these ideas and articles about, you know, why do people really hate Serena Williams? It seems like the world kind of woke up to the fact like, oh, actually, fucking people hate Serena Williams because she's black. Whoa, they hate her because she's a black woman. It's actually racism. And, you know, fucking Maria Sharapova gets this boost because she's white, because she's a white girl that fits into this idea of femininity and beauty, and Serena doesn't. Serena's, you know, she's big, she's strong, she's powerful, she's curvy, she's muscular, she's black, she's dark-skinned, she wears braids, you know, and she makes them uncomfortable because she's all up in their white sport, you know, whooping this white girl's ass, and these racists don't like it, you know, they don't like it. So anything that they can do to tear Serena down and build Maria Sharapova up, they do it. They do it. And one of the main ways and reasons that we've seen them do this is for them to claim that Serena takes drugs, that she takes PEDs, that she takes steroids, that she takes, you know, performance enhancing drugs. She is one of the most tested athletes in tennis and in any sport. I remember reading that during one circuit, she was tested like 3 times in 1 week because they don't understand it. They feel like, how is this fucking young black girl from California dominating? She must be cheating because we all know that fucking niggas are supposed to be fucking inferior. They test and test and test and test and test Serena, and they accuse her of drugs, and they say really vile, nasty, disgusting, racist things about her body. How she's built like a man, an animal. They call her a beast, a savage. This really racially charged language that we see used to describe Black people. The same kind of language that we saw used to describe Mike Brown. The same kind of language that we constantly see used to dehumanize us, and to make us seem like animals, like monsters, that's why Serena's winning, because she's an animal, because she's a monster. And if it's not because she's an animal, and if it's not because she's a monster, it can't just be because she's more talented than the white girl. Because of course the tall, skinny, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl is supposed to be superior. If it's not because of that, then they're going to say, oh, she's taking drugs. Little do we know, what happened last week? Came out that Maria Sharapova tested positive for drugs. Now, I believe the drug is called meldonium. Meldonium? I hope I'm saying that right. Let me make sure. Let me read it again. Meldonium. It was moved onto the prohibited list this year in 2016. I'm going to read you guys a little bit of background. ITF documents show meldonium was moved from the monitoring program and added to the prohibited list beginning in 2016. That's because of evidence of its use by athletes with the intention of enhancing performance. So before this year, it was not on the bad list. Now it is on the bad list. Apparently, all the athletes received an updated list of what's on the good list and what's on the bad list. And Maria Sharapova is claiming, I made a mistake. I didn't click the email. I didn't read the link. I didn't read what it said. I didn't see that they had moved it onto the bad list. It was an honest mistake. Number one, bitch, you get paid millions and millions of dollars. I'm sure you have all types of trainers, doctors. I'm sure you have a staff of people. You probably have someone that reads your fucking emails for you. Don't try to tell me that there was not somebody that you have on retainer whose job it is to be up on what the fucking drugs are that's on the bad drug list. No, you can't tell me that. I'm sorry, you can't tell me that. I don't buy it, I don't believe it. But even if I did believe it was an honest mistake, that this went from the good list to the bad list, and how was she supposed to know? The people that make it, the drug makers, they stepped forward and said that she's been taking this drug for 10 years. This drug is only meant to be used for 4 to 6 weeks. They said that this drug is meant to only be used for 4 to 6 weeks. It's not meant to be used for 10 years. So she's been using the drug inappropriately, regardless of whether or not it's on the fucking good list or the bad list. So she got wind of that she failed the drug test. So rather than wait for the tennis people to announce it, she scheduled her own press conference. She kind of got ahead of the bad press, and she announced it herself. And she was very, sad, sorry, apologetic. She went on stand and cried those white girl tears. And, the media can't resist white girl tears. Once a white girl starts crying, it's over. Talking about, I'm so sorry, and, I let the sport down that I've been playing since I was 4 years old, and I let my fans down, and I'm so sorry I didn't read the email, and yada, yada, yada. And she was immediately recast as a victim. Immediately. She's been immediately recast as a victim. And that is her white privilege really in action. Because can we imagine the way that this would have went if Serena Williams, Black women who the media fucking hates, who the sport of tennis, they fucking hate this woman. They despise this woman. They hate that she's been dominating for so long as a Black girl from fucking Compton in their white, pristine sport. They hate that she's been dominating. They hate that she's been whooping Sharapova's ass. Now it comes out that Sharapova has been taking this drug for 10 years, which whether or not it was on the bad list before, it's on the bad list now, which means it's been proven that it has some type of enhancing effect, which means that for the last 10 years that she's been taking this drug, whether or not it was legal or illegal, it has been giving her an edge, and she's still been fucking getting that ass handed to her by Serena. Can you imagine? Tennis would have lost their minds. ESPN would have lost their minds. Would have been 24-hour ticker news coverage, Serena Williams tests positive for drugs. Would have been so many pieces about, We knew it. We're right. There's no way that anyone could accomplish what she accomplished. And, she should be stripped of her medals and she should be, they would be wanting to kick her ass out in a disgrace. Like they always do anytime any black athlete does anything. The media immediately goes into this, biased ass media, immediately goes into this cycle of like just ripping that person to shreds. Maria Sharapova testing positive for doping is a prime example of the way that white privilege, and especially her being a white woman, a white female, again, 6 feet tall, thin, blonde hair, blue eyes, the same thing that made her marketable over Serena Williams to the point where, despite the fact that she is not a winner, that she is not as talented as Serena, in their sport, their athletes, she's been the highest paid female athlete for the last 11 years thanks to her endorsements. We see this same viewing of her as this white, fragile, oh, protect her. Oh, protect the white, fragile little angel and coddle her. And she's immediately made into this victim that something was done to her. And they just put Melodium, however you fuck you pronounce it, they just put it on the list and it's not her fault. And, I'm going to read you some headlines. Like, the drug that got Sharapova suspended is widely used by athletes, says Journal. That's the lead. So right there, we're getting this idea of it's not her fault, Why did Maria Sharapova allow herself to get caught? Like Maria Sharapova drug test failure, a sad day for tennis. So we already see this narrative being formed around, like this was some type of horrible thing that happened to her. Like, no, the bitch fucking tested positive for doing drugs. Like, fucking kick her ass out. Kick her ass out. Strip her of her medals from the last 10 years because we know she's been taking the shit for 10 years and we know now that it has fucking performance enhancing side effects. Strip her ass of her 3 medals that she's won because the bitch has barely won shit because Serena's been getting in that ass. But still, strip her of her 3 medals. Strip her of her endorsement deal. She's already lost 3 of them. Nike, I think it's pronounced Tag Heuer. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it's a luxury watch brand, which I've seen her ads everywhere for those watches. Nike, the watch brand, and Porsche like immediately dropped her. Evian is on the fence. They said, we've always had a trustworthy professional relationship with her, and we want to watch and see how the story develops before we decide if we want to drop her. How is it going to develop more? The bitch tested positive, so y'all waiting to see if it was a false positive? Like, what are we waiting for? They're giving her the benefit of the doubt, and that's white privilege in action. It really, really is. Like, white people are always giving the benefit of the doubt. White fucking perpetrators are given the benefit of the doubt while fucking black victims and black people in general are fucking thrown up under the bus, They are waiting to catch Serena on something. They tested her 3 times in 1 week. She's the most tested athlete in tennis. They're waiting for her to slip up so they can pull the rug from under her and try to tarnish her legacy, okay? This bitch that they try to act like is her fucking rival tests positive for drugs, and they're fucking already crafting this narrative that she's some type of victim because she's a white girl. And that is white privilege in action. That is white privilege in action. There have been some other tennis players that have stepped forward to say she needs to be punished. Rafael Nadal says Maria Sharapova must pay for positive meldonium test. He said, I want to believe that this is a mistake, but she should pay for her negligence. Negligence is in quotes, He's like, this is terrible. I want to believe that for sure it's a mistake, that she didn't want to do it. But, these are the rules. It's fair, so now she must pay for it. You have people saying like, let her come back. Let her go away for a while, get the drug out of her system, recover, make a triumphant, come back. Like, no, the bitch is not injured. Nothing happened to her. She tested positive for drugs, period. How are we turning her testing positive for drugs into some type of victim, making her some type of victim, some type of fucking victim story? It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy. It's insane. Like, and this is the way that white privilege works. It warps perception, it twists a narrative, it twists facts, because at the end of the day, the facts are, she's a professional athlete that tested positive for doping, for performance-enhancing drugs, period, the end. That's it. And we're crafting these stories and these narratives to make her into some type of victim because she's white, number one, and because she's a white woman that fits into this idea of beauty, femininity, fragility, someone needing to be coddled and protected. I'm going to read you guys a little bit from this article that, again, I'm going to link it in the description box, so please read below. The benefit of the doubt, a case study on white privilege. Privilege, a right or immunity granted as a peculiar benefit, advantage, or favor. And then they have an excerpt from what Maria Sharapova said. I let my fans down. I let the sport down that I have been playing since the age of 4 and that I love so deeply. I know with this I face consequences, and I don't want to end my career this way, and I really hope I will be given another chance to play this game. Number one, bitch, the entitlement. Why do you even deserve another chance? You got caught doping. What makes you deserve another chance? Get the fuck out of here. With these words, 5-time Grand Slam winner Maria Sharapova announced to the world that she had tested positive for using the banned drug meldonium during the 2016 Australian Open. And then they kind of go on to say, if tennis is the quintessential white sport, then Maria Sharapova could only be described as not only the quintessential tennis champion, but also the quintessential white woman. On the other side of the spectrum is Serena Williams, who's black, curvaceous, kinky-haired, and brown-eyed. And then they kind of go on to give a brief kind of history on the relationship between Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams and how Maria Sharapova was basically supposed to be the great white hope to come in and fucking get those black Williams sisters out of here. But then, Serena went on to fucking get in that ass. Over the next 12 years, Sharapova won 4 additional Grand Slam titles while Serena won 15 Grand Slam titles, along with 3 Olympic gold medals. In addition, Sharapova lost the next 18 consecutive matches that she played against Serena. With this lopsided matchup, one would have expected tennis pundits to acknowledge Serena's dominance. However, when the two meet in any competition, journalists refer to it as a rivalry. Again, creating this narrative that Sharapova is on Serena's level and poised to surpass her, even though the numbers say nothing to support that, it really boils down to race. Serena's black, Maria's white, so they want Maria to win. They want her to win. And we're even still, now that she's been fucking found guilty of doping, they still want her to win. Anything for this bitch to win. Anything. Sharapova elicits immediate empathy whenever she suffers a setback. If she loses, she's never written off. After she recovered from shoulder surgery, to win the French Open, she was praised for her resilience and called a fighter. We see less acknowledgement of Serena's struggles. And when she was beaten in the 4th round of Wimbledon, shortly after her recovery from a pulmonary embolism, the crowd at center court rejoiced. You see Americans watch Serena play overseas and they root for the non-American because they don't want to root for her. They don't want to root for a black woman dominating in what they see as their sport, white Americans, their sport, Despite Sharapova being the one to have tested positive for a banned substance, it's Serena who has had to endure surreptitious suggestions that she is a drugs cheat, even though she has never failed a test. Serena is one of the most tested players on tour, and a few weeks ago was tested on 3 separate occasions within a week. Now, a major tennis reporter tweeted, to be fair on Maria Sharapova, it was only banned this year. She has only played the Aussie Open and she's owned up. Someone replied, to be fair, if this had been Serena or Venus, no one would be talking about to be fair. Exactly. When Sharapova made her positive test public, she was given what people of color have been deprived for most of our lives, the benefit of the doubt. People are talking about we don't have all the facts. Like I said, she has a deal with Evian that said they want to wait for more facts to come out. One of her endorsements with a tennis racket brand said they're going to keep supporting her because they find it so admirable that she stepped forward and admitted, and good for her. And it's like, it's crazy to watch this type of thing unfold and to know that if this had been Serena, people would be calling for to burn Serena at the stake. They would fucking have out the pitchforks. They would want to strip her of everything and, and her career and her legacy. And, and with Sharapova, it's just going to be like, oh, a little blip. Oh, yeah, and she failed her drug test, but whatever. And that's white privilege. And that's white privilege. And again, that is also fits into this narrative of, you know, protect the white woman, coddle the white woman, the precious white woman has to be, you know, protect her at all costs, and she's a victim, and, you know, let her be strong and powerful and own her truth. And it's like, well, but the truth is that the bitch been fucking doping for 10 years, and she still isn't even a beast. And she still isn't even a beast. She's still been getting that ass handed to her by Serena for 10 years. So how you fucking doping and you still not even a beast? Get the fuck out of here. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. But we're going to see her again playing next year, and that's white privilege. That is white privilege in a nutshell. So go ahead and click. There's going to be lots of links in the description box. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Maria Sharapova, future Maria, coding crazy Maria, but she gonna be able to keep on fucking trucking because she's white, you know, and blonde and blue-eyed and 6 feet tall, and you know, a fucking marketing. Her PR is great because they got ahead of it before the tennis people announced it, so can't deny that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Food for thought as always. Just one of many, many ways that if you're white, you get the benefit of the doubt. So see you guys next time. Peace.